Hi there, welcome. This is Miss Sonka. Today we're going to read this book called Going Home, Coming Home. Về nhà thăm quê hương. It is written by Trung Trung and the illustrations are by An Pham. As you can see, there's a different language down here. This book is in Vietnamese as well. It is a bilingual book, and as you're going through the pages, there will be English on the top and then Vietnamese on the bottom. I'm very excited to share this book with you. It's one of my favorite books and very near and dear to my experience as a Vietnamese American as well. I will start by reading the introduction. This side is Vietnamese, this side is English. I'm going to read the introduction. I think it's a huge part of this book and understanding how the book came about. It's a little bit much. There's a lot of information in it, so if your child or whoever is watching this is a little bit younger, I would just skip over the intro and go into the story when that starts, okay? Introduction. I left Vietnam for America when I was 5, only days before the fall of Saigon. In school, I learned English and read stories about kids unlike myself. At home, I spoke Vietnamese and heard stories about cousins just like me in a far-off land. My experience is one that is common to many Vietnamese Americans. In recent years, part of the experience has included returning to Vietnam. It took me 25 years to return to Vietnam, and to myself as a Vietnamese. In doing so, I discovered myself as an American. I'm not one or the other, but in fact, both. Today, families are reuniting. Children of a new generation who are unfamiliar with their parents' birthplace are now seeing for the first time this place that is so much a part of their identity. If my story is one of leaving and coming to America in times of war, then the story for the next generation should be one of going and coming to Vietnam in times of peace. It is a story of discovering that home is not a place rooted in a country, but a feeling rooted in the heart. Trung Trung. So that is the introduction from the author. I think it's a beautiful introduction to kind of get to know the author. So as we're going to start this book, I'm going to invite you to think about the characters. Here is Amy J. She's the main character in here. And as she's going through this journey, visiting her grandmother in Vietnam, I would like you to follow her feelings and how she is and what she's become, okay? So she feels a certain way throughout the trip, and that feeling changes. So as we read this book together, I'd like to invite you to think about how she feels at certain parts in this book and why she feels that way, and then how her feelings change and why they change. All right, here we go. What's so great about Vietnam anyways, and why do you keep calling Vietnam home? I wanted to say. Instead, I sigh and say, this trip is taking forever. Amy G, I told you this would be a long trip. Be patient. We'll be there soon enough, Mom answers. Mom and Dad haven't been to Vietnam since they left during the war. They were about my age when they left, but they still think of it as home. But for me, home has always been our little red ruby house in America, where Mom grows herbs and flowers in the backyard. Home is where you get to go to the Grand Canyon on vacation or ride on roller coasters at the amusement park. Outside the window, there's nothing but blue. It's kind of how I'm feeling right now. So as you can see right now, she's in the airplane with her mom, and they're taking that trip to Vietnam. She's not very happy. Looking at her face, you can tell she's not a very happy girl right now, and she's thinking of home. When we stepped off the airplane, the air is humid and thick, and my shorts and t-shirt stick to me. The airport is crowded with unfamiliar faces. Some home. At the gate, Mom runs to the man who is waiting. She's laughing and crying at the same time. Amy G, she says, this is my little brother, your Uncle Ben. Welcome, he says in funny-sounding English. Uncle Ben has Mom's eyes and nose, but he looks much older. He pinches my cheek, which I hate, but then he bends over and gives me a pretty paper fan with a bird whose wings expand when you open it. I guess Uncle Ben isn't that bad, but paper fan or no paper fan, I'd still rather be home. So they just arrived at the airport, and her uncle came to pick up the family. Uncle Ben drives us through Ho Chi Minh City, where motorbikes and bicycle carts called cyclos pack the streets. They zip by on both sides of the road. Look, I shouted and pointed to a boy in the crowd. He calmly carries a bowl of noodles across the street, weaving carefully through the traffic that dances around him. Dad doesn't notice. He seems to be looking for the city that he remembers. He says, the city's name changed to Ho Chi Minh City when the war ended, but it will always be Saigon to me, the way it used to be. Uncle Ben shouted, Welcome to Saigon! We drive through endless rice paddies that wave in the wind like a green sea. Mom suddenly points to a tiny house in the heart of all this green and says, There! That's the house where I was born. The house is no bigger than our garage back home. An old lady stands in the doorway. She smiles, her hand barely covering her dark teeth. Mom runs up to her, laughing and crying like she did at the airport. Dad whispers in my ear, This is your grandmother, your Bang Wai. When Bang Wai hugs and kisses me, I feel funny. I don't know what to think. Bang Wai speaks no English. Don't get frustrated, Mom says. She can talk to you in other ways. Bang Wai waves her fan. Are you hot? She taps her mouth. Are you hungry? Before I answer, she offers me sweet and sour fruit shaped like dragons and stars. I've never tasted anything like them. I wonder if I'll ever get used to this place. Bang Wai is from Hanoi, up north near China, Mom explains. When she was younger, Bang Wai had to leave her home, just like Dad and me. Bang Wai speaks and Mom translates. Why talk about such terrible times when people had to leave their home and friends? Her question hangs in the air. So she's caring for her even though they don't speak the same language. She's offering her fruit. She's fanning her, making sure she's not hot. 2 weeks pass. I want to go home, I say. It's too hot. Grandma's house is too small, and I can't understand what anyone says. I have an idea, Dad says, and winks at Mom. We can all go to Jalong, the big market. It's not like any market I've ever seen. Instead of one big store, there's a million stalls crammed with all kinds of foods and clothes and tools and things. One man on a bicycle sells chickens. Uncle Ben argues with him for a while, then buys a rooster that looks like a ball of fire. Every home in Vietnam should have a pet rooster. What should we name it? Dad says, and hands it to me. But I've never held a rooster before, and it jumps out of my hands and runs away squawking. Ooh. Wow. Would you be afraid to hold a rooster? Hey, come back! I chase the rooster through the stalls and crash into a woman stacking mangoes. She's still shouting at me as I turn the corner. I run faster, but I can't catch that bird. Out of nowhere, a boy and a girl race past me. I see them up ahead, chasing the flustered rooster. It doesn't know which way to go. Suddenly, the girl darts in and grabs the rooster by its bright red belly. In awkward Vietnamese, I say gratefully, "Cảm ơn." Thank you. You're welcome, the girl says in English. My name is Tao, and this is my brother, Tuấn. So, to the rescue. Our brother and sister jumps in and helps her get the rooster. The rooster squawks in my arm and then settles down as I pet him. We walk back to where Tuấn, who is 15, left his motorbike. Tao tells me she's 7, 1 year younger than I am. Tuấn and Tao takes me to their mother's stall, where she sells tiny fried canaries. You can even eat the bones, Tuấn says. I'm not sure I want to try them, so Tao offers me some dried bananas instead. They're better than candy. I could spend my whole life eating dried baby bananas. So they offered her baby canaries, which are little baby birds. That's here, and it looks like she's not feeling great about eating the canaries, and so she's eating baby bananas instead. The other customers at the stall seem curious about me. Can they tell I'm not from here? Tuấn says something to his mother and takes off on his motorbike. Tao brings out a pair of chopsticks and then a bunch of smaller sticks that she spills on the ground. Looks easy, I said happily as Tao picks up one of the small slender sticks with her chopsticks. She can lift each stick so that the others don't even move a little bit. She is patient and her fingers are careful. But when it's my turn, my clumsy fingers can't get it right. Try again, Tao says. Finally, I start to get it. I can't wait to show Mom. So she made a new friend here at the market, and they're playing pick-up sticks together. Mom, I gasped. I need to go home. I explained to Tao in a panic. My parents will be so worried about me. I need to get back to my grandma's house. Home? What if they never find me? It begins to rain. The deliciously cool water mixes with the tears on my face. It rains here every day before dusk, and it's always a treat. The rain is a neighborhood friend who knocks at your door and asks if you can come out to play. In the rain, I forget that I am lost. Tao takes my hand, we kick puddles at each other, we catch the drops on our tongue. In the rain, we're sisters, very wet sisters. So they're playing in the rain. How beautiful is that? Do you ever come out when it's raining and just enjoy and play in the rain? She's almost forgetting here that she needs to get home, and she's really happy playing in the rain with her new friend. Just as the rain tapers off, Tuấn returns. I know where you live, he says in his careful English. He explains that his mother's customers had heard about the family from America that was visiting my grandmother. Tuấn had tried to find Uncle Bin or Dad in the maze of market stalls, but no luck. He found out where our house is, though, and he offers to take me back. It's hard to say goodbye to Tao. We exchange addresses and promise to stay in touch. I'll name my rooster Lucky, I tell Tao, because I'm so lucky to have met her, my new friend. So she made a new friend, and Tao's older brother is now taking her home, and they know because they talk, so he knows where she's living and that the grandmother's having family visit from America. So the whole community is pretty small and close, and so she's taking the little girl back to the house. When Tuấn drops me off, Bông Hoa is home alone, combing her hair and singing in a tone that is both lovely and sad. Her hair is a flowing river of silver. Her skin looks as if the sun has polished it. When I come in, she brings out a plate of fruit and gestures me to eat. She sits by me very close. I want to ask her the meaning of her beautiful, sad song, but instead, I just smile. When Mom, Dad, and Uncle Bin finally return from the market, Bông Hoa is still singing, and I am combing her hair. So, what a beautiful scene. She connects with her grandmother without a word, and they're just sitting there together and enjoying each other's company. We were so worried, Dad said. We looked for you everywhere. I hug him and say, I thought I'd never find my way home. Home? Dad asked. I tell them about Tao and about the fried canaries and pickup sticks, and I was thinking she and Bangwai could come to America next summer, I added. I'm afraid Bangwai is too old to travel so far, and besides, this is where she belongs. Vietnam is her home, Dad explains. Well, it's my home too, I tell him. My home away from home. We'll just have to come back. At this, everyone laughs, even Bangwai, even me. I think she's finally feeling like this might be her home in a different way, and she's changing how she's feeling now. And as you can see, even with her facial expression, she looks happier. 2 weeks later, we pack up and all loaded into Uncle Bin's van. At the airport, Uncle Bin says, Be a good girl, and pinches my cheek. I don't even mind. Bangwai stuffs dried bananas into my pockets and hides rivers of tears behind her hand. We don't need to say the words for goodbye. She touches my heart with her hand, and I kiss her cheek. And then we're on our way back home to America. Before I came to Vietnam, I knew I was American. Here, I learned that I am both Vietnamese and American. I am from the East and I am from the West. My home is here, my home is there. Home is 2 different places on the left and right sides of my heart. And on the back here, you can meet the author and the illustrator. There's a little bit of information about the both of them. I hope you enjoyed this book. Thank you for listening.